Welcome back to Furuno Connections. On this episode, we start our Side Scan Sonar testing. We have the TC Touch 3 coupled with the DFF3D Multi-Beam Sonar. This system runs at 165 kilohertz, allowing us to go really deep. The DFF3D has multiple beams that allow you to see from port to starboard at 120 degrees. And you can go down as deep as 1,000 feet. We're going to be conducting tests in different depths of water, but in this episode, we're going to concentrate on the deep. We're going to go down to about 1,000 feet of water, and we're going to see which of the systems are able to display the bottom and fish at the same time. We think you're going to be amazed at the performance of the DFF3D compared to the other systems. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of Furuno Connections.
The competitive analysis for today is going to be on Side Scan Sonar technology. Furuno uses a multi-beam 8-channel sonar, and that works in both shallow and deep water especially well. Let's look at how Furuno does against the competition. So right now we're in about almost 1,100 feet, about 1,053 feet on our fish finder, but you can see how the DFF3D is still able to mark bottom, not strong bottom, but still marking bottom. And if I just touch right here, see 1,086 feet off to the side a little bit. So it's pretty amazing that not directly under the boat, we're still almost marking 1,100 feet with the DFF3D. That's a strong return. You can see 1,060 feet. So we're not exaggerating when we say that the DFF3D is capable of marking at 300 meters, almost 400 meters, over 1,000 feet, getting reliable bottom, even, with 165 kilohertz. It's just amazing how the performance of this machine, this multi-beam sonar is. And as we come up a little bit, we're getting a little bit stronger returns. As we return back up on the Marathon Hump, we'll start to see that side scan capability really start to paint the whole that whole side of the mountain, the seamount coming right up. It's pretty incredible. And you can see how the 3D really separates us, or the Furuno system, from our competitors. The other systems on the market are much higher frequency. They're only 2 transducers typically. They're what's called a correlation system, while we have 8 transducers firing in a multi-beam pattern. And you can just see how the performance of the DFF3D out here is just, it's not comparable. Nobody else even has a bottom image, let alone seeing fish or marking any kind of fish sign at 800 feet. It's impossible for their systems to even work. So that's why their systems are designed more for shallow water, fresh water. This system, the DFF3D Multi-Beam Sonar, is a game changer out here because you can see fish, you can see marks and humps that you're just not going to see. In fact, I was down here in the Keys, we were marking in the shipping lanes an old wreck that was from World War II that was sunk by a submarine, and we went to take off, and it was a known wreck. It was a fisherman whose father and family had been fishing the Keys for the past 50 years. And they had some old wrecks that they know about that a lot of people don't have those same marks or those same numbers. And as we went to take off, we got about a half mile away, and boom, the DFF3D popped up another bump that nobody even knew about. We went over to it, dropped on it, and I pulled up a snowy grouper, personally pulled up a snowy grouper, about a 40-pound snowy grouper, right in about 10 seconds. It was amazing. So there's marks that the DFF3D are going to find, and wrecks and bumps and things like that the other competitors' products are just not going to show you at all. You're going to see a blank screen. They're not going to show anything below 200 feet. We're marking bottom and fish at 800 feet with the DFF3D. Unbelievable.
So what we have here, we're right on top of the Marathon Hump. This is our 3D imagery. You can see, like, we're on the left side, it's actually dropping down deeper, and this color-coded will show you right here the actual depths, or you can even just touch on it and then it'll tell you as well. What I like a lot too, it's showing me where the fish are. So this right here, I know these fish right here, it's going to be down 256 feet, and it'll be
30 yards off your port side.
Yeah, exactly.
Side.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it'll show me, like, that's a big cluster of fish as well. When I see it, like, on my one dimensional, you don't really know, like, where they are, but they're there. This right here will definitely dial you in, whether they're on the left side, the right side of the boat, port, starboard, and this is a great image of the Marathon Hump.
And we're looking at a 120-degree wide swath right now, and it's giving us this historical information, and we're looking out, you know, so we're in 520 feet of water, but we're looking out 200, 400, 600 feet as the drop-off occurs on the Marathon Hump. And we can see fish directly under the boat and off to the side. So that's one of the great things about the DFF3D, is not only are you seeing the fish, but you're seeing how far off to the side of the boat you are using that wide 120-degree beam width. Really cool. So right now we can see, hey, we have a whole school of fish, probably tuna right there, about 200 feet down, and that's about 100 feet to 200 feet off to the starboard side of the boat, because you can look down and get that grid and really use that grid to target the fish that you're looking for. That's something that our competitors just simply aren't going to do, especially amberjack at 400 feet. So, you know, our competitors just aren't going to see that. We'll show that in the comparison video, and our customers can make up their minds and just see how valuable this tool is. This is a fishing tool.
All right, guys, so now we're still out here. We're still with Captain Mike. We're at the Marathon Hump, and right now we're sitting in actually 1,100 feet of water. So it's really deep. And I think, you know, like I told you earlier, we first started by testing 1 kilowatt chirp. We got all those tests done and our comparisons done, and now we're going to test side scan. And my expectation is that we're using the transducer that comes with System A right out of the box, and it allows us to do side scan, down view, chirp, all in one transducer. So we're using a different transducer this time. And right now we're in 1,100 feet of water, and while we can see depth, we're not seeing any fish. And that's kind of what our expectations was, because System A uses a higher frequency. And the higher the frequency you go, the less depth penetration you're going to get. But the good news is we have 3 depth ranges we're going to test today. Right now we're at the deepest point. We just want to show you what we're seeing. That way you know we're being honest with you. And then we're going to go to some shallow water areas. So right now we're going to test between 500 and 1,000 feet. Well, actually 500 and 1,100 feet. And then we're going to go to an area that's between like 100 to 300 feet, and then we're going to test below 100 feet. So right now we're in the deep area. We want you guys to take a look at the screen. We'll show you what's available on System A and see what you guys think. So what we're looking at right now on the left-hand side of the screen is pretty much their version of a down sounder. 2 different views. As we see, it's 260 kilohertz, so it's a much higher frequency than usual. And on the right-hand side of the screen, we see side scan. And like I said before, we're using the transducer that comes with System A right out of the box. And my expectation going into this, because we have such a high frequency, while we can get bottom on the screen, I didn't expect to see any fish. And right now, I think that kind of proves my point. In 1,000 feet of water, the frequency is just too high to see fish. But what we're also going to do, we're going to go into some shallower water, and we're going to make this thing perform. That way we can compare System A against Furuno Side Scan DFF3D. And you guys can make the decision on which one you like better and see the different merits between them.
All right, so obviously things on System B are not as productive as everybody else. We went and hooked up the side scan transducer. So we have our mount back here. We have our mount hooked up that allows us to switch in and out transducers on the fly. So we brought the 275L HW and the side scan unit. So we swapped transducers and we got everything hooked up, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be responding. So it should be right here. The source should be in this box here, and it's not showing up now. We had it before, went away, we got it back, and now it hasn't come back again. So we're not quite sure where the problem is. So unfortunately, that means we're probably gonna have to go back to shore and get with their manufacturer support and find out what's going on. We think it might be the actual network fish finder box for this, for the side scan, but we're not sure.
We're still out here on the hump with Captain Cam, and we have switched over our transducer to System C's side scan, down scan, 3D, and high frequency sonar transducer. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the screen on System C and show you what we can or cannot see out here in deep water. Cam, we're out here on the hump. You know, looking at your chart, how about how deep do you think we are?
Yeah, so we've actually just come off the back side of the hump and what we call the east side, which is where the current falls off the back. And it's 1,000 feet here.
Okay.
And, so it's going to be probably pretty tough, what it looks like for this thing to pick up the bottom back here.
All right.
So should be seeing some stuff though.
All right, so looking at the screen on System C, we've got a 4-way split running here. We're running a high frequency sonar, we're running 3D, running down scan, and running side scan. And if we can see on the screen, on the side scan and the down scan, and about that 500 feet mark on top of the hump, we were barely able to see a bottom. Now we did pick one up, but that's not really going to be usable information when you're out fishing. You know, so I think we've kind of exceeded the depth limits of what this unit can do on down scan and side scan. But you can see we're actually getting a pretty decent looking bottom, and we marked a couple fish on the high frequency sonar side of this transducer. So it's not all lost. We do have this unit. The 3D, really we haven't been able to see anything out of it as far as bottom or fish targets. We've just seen some spikes and some noises.
Cam, they're only down 107 feet.
You should be able to see them. You should be able to see them on the side scan.
I'm marking them way down 405 feet too. You know what those are? AJ City, baby. And right on the bottom, 502 feet. We're in 704. Really? Yeah, we're marking really good. Really? Yeah, we got it.
On System C, we've looked at the 4-way split where we have our side scan and our down scan, and we were able to mark a little bit of bottom. On the high frequency sonar, we did mark bottom, we did mark some fish, and on the 3D, we never really got any bottom or any usable information out of it. So you can compare this image and this 500 feet of water mark or deeper to what you saw on Eric's boat with the Furuno TZT3 and the DFF3D Multi-Beam Sonar.
So right now, Captain, we're looking at the internal dual channel true echo chirp sounder in the upper left. The bottom left is the DFF3D Multi-Beam Triple Beam, which is showing you both the left side of the boat, the middle, and the right side of the boat, and we're verifying that with the cross section and our history mode. So if you can imagine our competitors' products, the only thing they're going to see, only bottom, only fish sign they're going to see in deeper water like this is on this machine. And you can see we're marking targets. If we only had this machine, we'd be marking targets, but we wouldn't know where they are.
Right.
You know, that's the game changer with the DFF3D, because we can bring up port, center, and right side in the same kind of history mode. We can see where the fish are. So as you're running over a fish, you don't know where they are with a typical down sounder. You're looking at on this high frequency side with this 275 LHW, this Airmar transducer. It's a great transducer, but the problem is it's a single channel 40-degree wide beam width. And when you're talking 500 feet down, that's hundreds of feet on either side of the boat. You know you're marking fish, but you have no idea where they are.
Exactly.
Look at what happens with the DFF3D. We can mark individual 40 individual channels at 3 degrees each, so we know exactly what's going on. We can see that, hey, the bottom's dropping off on the left. I can't tell that from this history.
Right.
Or in this history mode, I can actually see where the fish are under the boat very easily because it marks them and keeps them. Or on the triple beam, same thing. I know, a 40-degree channel here, 40-degree channel here, 40-degree channel here. I know exactly where the fish are. With this machine, with the bottom machine, it's a great machine, but you can't target the fish in the same way with a fish finder that you can with this multi-beam sonar.
And I'm no math major, but to me, no, that's 120.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Easy to see. You know, this 120 and 120, boom. Really easy to see what's going on.
The ultimate game changer.
Pretty amazing, isn't it? Being able to paint a 3D picture in water as deep as 1,000 feet and still being able to show fish as well. That's just something that's never been done on an MFD before. And for Jack to be able to see the boat next to him and tell him exactly where the fish was just simply amazing. Unfortunately, none of the other systems were able to display anything at these depths. So this test goes to Furuno, hands down. On the next episode, we move into shallower water. We're talking about 100 to 300 feet. We're hoping that the competitor systems are able to display something with their side scan sonar so we can compare it to the DFF3D. So make sure you tune in to the next episode so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and click on the bell below to get notifications for the next time we release new videos. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.